Belana Design and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show you how to create envelopes for slimline cards and for mini slimline cards. This idea came from Elizabeth Goodhand, and Elizabeth, this video is for you and for all those people out there they're willing to learn how to create slimline and mini slimline envelopes. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. When it comes to making envelopes, the best cardstock to use is 65-pound cardstock. I have tried many different weights of paper and I find that 65 is the best one to work with. It is not as expensive. This particular one is from Michaels. It is their Recollection Paper. It's easily accessible, it's inexpensive as I said, and it's perfect for envelopes. It's easily bendable, so you can create beautiful envelopes with this. But I will not use 65 for my cards, just FYI. So here is what I am going to show you is first we're going to make a slimline card envelope. So I am using a full sheet of paper. This is 11 by 8.5. That's the regular size paper. And the first thing what I am going to do is score my paper at 2 inches. I always start from 2 inches. Now, my card here measures 8.5. Let me just show you this. If you need to remember the size of your cards. So the slimline is 8.5 by 3 3/4. So that's the usual card that I go with when I am making slimline envelopes. So the first score is going to be at 2 inches. Then, just to be certain, I am going to put my card here so you can tell and see where I want to score my paper, but I normally go with 6 inches. If your card is skinnier, you can always just measure your card and adjust accordingly. Okay, so again, I scored it at 2 inches and at 6 inches. Next, I'm going to flip my paper over. And the first score I'm going to do is score at 1 inch mark. And at 10-inch mark. Okay, now you can see this card fits in perfectly. You definitely want to have some wiggle room around your card, but again, if your card is shorter, you can always measure and see where to cut your paper. Okay, so next thing, what I'm going to do is move my scoring board away. And here comes the fun part. This is my favorite, honestly, my favorite part is cutting this. So we're going to cut off these squares. But what I normally do is I will cut these squares on the inside of that scoring line, if you can see that there. So I'm gonna cut that right in here, like so. Here I'm gonna do it again. I hope you can see that score line. Just cut it on the inside, not on the outside, okay? There we go. Cut that part. Next, I am simply going to trim these little corners right here. If you want them to be the same length, so the same width, or to look the same, just use that little triangle as a template. You don't have to. Just put it in there like so. And now, there we go. Now my little corners are going to look almost identical. Next, I'm going to repeat the same thing from this is going to be my bottom, and I'm going to do my top here. I'm going to repeat the same thing. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so this is what you have now. So we are going to just fold this. Get your bone folder. Like so. And you can just simply glue them together. I like to put glue on this side here, on the longer side. That's what it is, and I'm gonna just glue those sides like so, and I'm gonna put this on these edges and attach. And now your envelope is pretty much done. Let me zoom out a little bit here. So this is done. Now this is where I have these little punch tools that I like to use when I'm creating my envelopes. This is completely optional. If you don't have these tools, all you have to do is, again, trim the little corners here and you're done. You can put some double-sided tape and you're done. But here, this is what I like to do. This is a, 5 1/8 circle. This punch little thing tool I got at Michael's. As you can see, it's Recollections, and I did something to it. Now I really don't know why is this not working for me. I think it's time for a new tool, but this is what I like to do when this tool was working, that is. You can see that these little guys here, these little guidelines, that'll give you half of a circle. So what I would do is put that in here, make sure that the sides are even, and just punch. Okay, and that would give me that little kind of slot where you can, it'll help you with the card to take it out. And with this little tool, this is a corner punch tool, and all you do is open it up. This tool is also from Michael's. It's by Martha Stewart, and I will link these tools in the description below. So all you do with this tool is just put this corner in here till the sides are all snug in, and punch, and you have this awesome decorative corners. Okay, you have to do it, repeat, and this is how I create my envelopes. Okay, this is a Slimline. Next, I'm going to use a little bit of that double-sided tape. I'm going to put it here like so, just to help me seal my envelope. But let me show you how it works. See? Ta-da! It is absolutely beautiful and perfect. That's how I create Slimline. Now let's move to mini Slimline envelopes. And now we are moving to mini Slimline cards and mini Slimline envelopes. Just want to point something out to all of you guys out there that a lot of these sizes varies from a designer to designer, card maker to card maker. And just want to make sure that you know that these are the measurements that I use. So I am going to stick to the sizes that I use, and I hope that helps you up there. So mini Slimline cards, the measurements that I use for my cards is 6 1/4. Here, I'm going to show you real quick. It's 6 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I find that that is the measurements, those are the measurements, pardon, that work for me. Again, 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. That's my size, and that is what I am going to use to create my envelope. So the first thing I'm going to do is trim my paper. I am going to use just a simple trimmer, and what you are going to need is cut your paper to 8 1/2 by 7 3/4. So it's already 8 1/2. So I'm just going to trim it to 7 3/4 of an inch, like so. Those are the measurements. Next, I'm going to use my little scoreboard here. Don't worry about measurements right now. Don't need to pause the video or anything. I'm going to list everything in the description below. So again, this is 8 1/2 by 7 3/4. And at 8 1/2 inch, we are going to score our paper at 3 1/4 of an inch. We are creating, this is going to be the bottom of our card, envelope. So 3 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. So the first score line is at 3/4 of an inch. Next score line is going to be at 7 1/4 of an inch. So 3 1/4, 7 1/4. Then we're going to flip our paper over, have it at 3 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and 6 3/4 of an inch. 3 1/4 and 6 3/4. Okay, I'm gonna put my trimmer away, and we're going to cut our corners here. Here we go. This is our little envelope. All we have to do is connect and glue these sides. Okay, I'm going to use glue, put the glue on the edges here. The longer flap, I find it to be much better that way, just like so. I'm going to do it same thing here. Okay, and connect. Next, I'm going to use my little broken thing here. Let me see here. It's somewhat in the center. Okay. You see how I trimmed this kind of wonky there? That's okay. I could just take my scissors and just trim that a little bit. You see? It's like nothing ever happened. You see? Perfect. that's what you can do if that happens to you. Here is my corner puncher here, decorative corner puncher. Just do this. 1 and 2, perfect. Next thing, I'm going to just use a little bit of that tape, like so, and put it on my end here to close. That's gonna help me there. And my envelope is done. Ta-da! That's it. Wasn't that easy? Look at that. Let me just put my envelope in here just real quick. Again, it doesn't have any issues with coming in and out beautifully in there. It's perfect and ready to go. And that's it. We made our envelopes. So easy, doesn't require a lot of different tools and a lot of different things. I'm pretty sure that this is what you already have in your stash. Guarantee. Again, you don't have to go with these little decorative corners. You could if you want to. That is completely optional, but definitely not going to change the way we create these envelopes. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. And of course, big thanks goes to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, thank you so much for suggesting this video. Thank you for visiting me and watching me. I really appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions and something that you would like to see and try out without purchasing before, let me know, because I can do it before you, so you don't have to. Right? So that's it. And thank you all so much again. I will see you soon.